Hi, welcome to Philosophy B6a. My name is Brian Russell and I'll be your instructor for the semester. In this video, I'm going to cover 4 topics. First, how to find and navigate the class. Second, how to contact me. Third, what you will be learning. And fourth, what you will be doing and when it will be due. So let's begin with how to find and navigate the class. So go to bakersfieldcollege.edu, go to Inside BC. Use your username and password to log in, and then there'll be a tab up here that will say My Courses. Click on that menu and go down to our course, Introduction to Philosophy. And that will take you to a page that looks like this. So you'll see my contact information here. So if you want to, the best way to contact me is via email. So brian.russell@bakersfieldcollege.edu. I try to respond to emails within the first couple of days. If I haven't responded to you, please send me another email saying, hey, professor, I asked this question a couple days ago. You haven't got to it yet. If you could please answer it. I'll take no offense to that, and I'll make sure I get back to you. So back to the navigation. Here you'll see links to the syllabus, my virtual office hours. If you click on that, that will take you directly to the Zoom call. If you're in the waiting room for a little bit, that means I'm in a meeting with somebody else, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Also on this home page, you'll see a link to the modules of the course. So this course is broken up into weeks. After the welcome and orientation module, which you're taking care of right now, partly by watching this video. There's also an online orientation, which is optional. If you don't have experience taking online classes at BC, you might want to take a look at it. After that, the course is laid out by weeks, and if you click on any of these links, it will take you to that week's work. You'll also see a link to the final essay module as well, and some links down here. If you need extra accommodations, you can click those links and get the help you need. So if you click on these modules, you will eventually see all the assignments that you need to do for that week. Up here in the welcome, you'll see this video, the syllabus review and course mechanics, a link to the syllabus, and all these pages. It's actually not a lot of work. There's like a paragraph on each of these pages for the orientation, which again is optional. But if you do want to complete it by the end of this first week. And by the end, or by Monday of this week, in week 1, you'll see this populated with all your week 1 assignments. All right, so that is how you'll navigate the course. If you ever need to get to the home page, you'll see the link to the home page, the modules. You'll be able to see your grades as well. All right, so what you will be learning. Let's head over to the syllabus. So this is an introduction to philosophy class. We're going to be studying topics in 3 major branches of philosophy. So epistemology, metaphysics, and ethics. There'll be a little bit of philosophy of religion woven in there as well. We're going to start with metaphysics. So at the bottom of the syllabus here, which I'm going over right now, you'll see a course calendar, and you'll see we're going to start with epistemology. So actually a better place to do this is in the modules page. So in the modules page, at the top of the module, you'll see sort of what we're doing for the week, a topic. So what is philosophy? What is an argument? That's how we're beginning. Then how do we evaluate arguments, and sort of an introduction to philosophy by reading Plato, Plato's account of Socrates, and we'll talk about how to evaluate arguments. What can we know? So this will be our first, this will be our epistemology week, really. And then we'll get into some topics on metaphysics. So is the existence of God compatible with the evil we see in the world? What should we think about death? Should we think it's the end of us? If it is the end of us, is that a bad thing? Do we have free will? And finally, we'll get into ethics. So what is good? What does it mean to be a good person? What are the qualities of a good action? And Finally, what's the meaning of life? We'll be ending with that big question. There's some good work on that recently. So those are the specific topics we'll be talking about in philosophy, in some of the major branches of philosophy. We'll be reading some classic texts in the history of philosophy as well as some contemporary stuff, and by the end of the course you should have the skills to pick up a ancient or contemporary or modern, those are all different periods in the history of philosophy, text, and read it and figure out if the arguments contained therein are good arguments or not. That is the goal. All right, so finally, what you will be doing and when it will be due. So, as I showed you, the course is broken up into weeks. At the beginning of each week, so on Monday, you can expect an email from me in which I detail all of your tasks for that week. Your tasks will involve things like reading sections from our textbook. Let me cover what our textbook is really quickly. So our textbook is called Reason and Responsibility, Readings and Some Basic Problems of Philosophy. I think they're on the 16th edition, 13th edition or newer should be fine. Any readings for the course that are not in this textbook, I'll provide the readings, usually via PDF, in the modules of our Course Canvas site. So I would suggest you search for this online. You can maybe buy it from the bookstore. If you do buy it from the bookstore, it will be over $100. If you buy it online, you can see it for prices like $5, or I saw it earlier for $11. That's about what you should be paying for a used copy or to rent it. You can also look up something like this and find something like this. And this is a copy of the textbook that includes many of the readings. In fact, it only includes the underlined readings in this table of contents. But many of the readings will be going over in the course, but not all of them. However, the readings that this PDF does not contain, I'll actually be uploading in the course Canvas. So you can find the textbook, you can find free PDFs online, you can find, if you like having the copy of the book so you can mark it up, you can find copies for as cheap as $5. All right, so again, back to what you'll be doing and when it will be due. Your tasks will include reading article length readings from our textbook. You'll also have to watch video lectures. I'm going to try to give you as many video lectures that aren't me as possible. So I'm going to be using the Crash Course, videos from the Crash Course Philosophy video series liberally throughout our course to introduce topics. And then I'm going to be including sort of like zoom in videos where I zoom in on a particular idea and we go a little bit more in depth. Those Crash Course videos are really good. They're entertaining, at least much more entertaining than I am, and have much higher quality production value. So I'll try to mix those in whenever I can, usually to introduce a topic. And again, we'll be zooming in on particular ideas, going a little bit more in depth than those videos do. So, readings from our text, video lectures. In the video lectures, especially in those zoom-in videos, I'll be including questions and possible answers for post-lecture quizzes. You'll need to write those down, the questions and the answers, because when you open the quizzes in this course, you will not see the questions and you won't see the possible answers. You'll just see something like, what's the answer to number 1, A, B, or C? And if you haven't watched the video and you haven't written the question and answers down, you won't know what the question is and you won't know what the possible answers are. So make sure you're taking notes when you go through about the questions and the answers. So when you open those post-lecture quizzes, you know which answer you would like to select. You'll usually have a quiz or two just about every week. In addition, occasionally you'll have discussion boards. You'll have 5 discussion boards throughout the course of the semester where I'll give you specific instructions to post your thoughts on a topic and reply to a colleague's post. You'll get specific instructions on each discussion board. Next, tests. So we'll have 3 tests throughout the semester. In weeks 1, no, excuse me, not weeks 1. In week, I want to say 5, 11, and 16. Let me double check that real quick. So our tests will be weeks 5, weeks 11, and 16. The tests will be about 30 to 35 multiple choice questions and 1 essay question. For each test at the beginning of the week, you'll be given a study guide, which contains the topics that you should study for the multiple choice questions and the possible essay prompts. So you'll have the essay prompts before you open the test. So what I suggest you do is spend some time combing through that study guide, making sure you know all the topics, and pick one of the essay prompts and write an essay for it. I'll be expecting about the equivalent of 2 typed pages in response to the essay prompt. So what I suggest, completely write out your essay. Then when you open the test, you can just copy and paste that essay over to the essay answer box. Finally, and the tests are not cumulative, so the final is just test 3. The last type of assignment you'll have throughout the semester is you'll have an essay, a big essay. So what big essay here is relative, it's just 4 pages. So that 4-page essay, it will need to be 4 pages of crisp argumentation. So though it doesn't sound like a lot, I'll be expecting it to be packed with content. You will see at some point I'll have this final essay module. I'll have essay expectations, a lecture about my essay expectations there that you'll be able to watch later in the semester. In the beginning, you'll also have a few logic problems, just so you can have some practice figuring out what arguments are and how to construct and evaluate arguments. One other one note about grading. With your 3 tests and your essay, out of those 4 assignments, I drop your lowest grade. So if you decide to do the 3 tests, you can decide not to do the essay, and I'll just drop that essay from your final grade. Or if you miss a test for whatever reason, you can do the essay, and then I'll drop that test that you miss. If you decide to do everything, I'll just take whatever your lowest grade is out of those 4 assignments and drop it from your final grade. So your final grade will consist of 3 of those 100-point assignments, some combination of the tests and essay. 10 quiz grades throughout the semester, each one's worth 10 points. 5 discussions, and that's it. So 450 total points will be what your grade is out of. All right, I think that's everything I needed to cover. Finally, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on what I take to be the really interesting topics that we'll be looking at throughout the semester, and you can look forward to an email from me on Monday detailing the assignments that you have that will be due on Sunday at 11:59. So I didn't say that. Each week, all assignments will be due at Sunday at 11:59. You'll get the email on Monday. Everything's due on Sunday. So thanks for sticking with me through this video. Hopefully my videos in the future will not be so long. I'll see you next time.